go ahead.
I mean, you're actually like prepared with scripts and stuff, so that might take a few minutes. Okay. Okay. So is this called Asked and Answered? Is that the name?
Asked
Okay.
and answered.
But I don't need to say that.
No.
Okay.
You're good.
So. Question. What do I do if my son refuses to go back to his mother's house, who has primary care? My 13-year-old son refuses to go back to his mom's. I cannot force him into the car or do anything to him. So what do I do if he continues to refuse?
Oh, that's difficult.
I know, that's a good
That's
question. That's why I was like, ooh, that's a good one.
So first I would follow modification, but on an interim basis, you just have to encourage him. Maybe call the police out to talk to him. But yeah, you have to encourage him. You have to try to get him to go over there. Obviously, you can't drag him to the car, right? Because you don't want to get in any trouble yourself. But as long as you're encouraging him and trying to get him to go, you're going to be fine. But you need to follow modification, and you need to be able to prove all of that and be talking to the mom about it, that he doesn't want to go, that kind of stuff. Try to get her consent, but if she won't give it, then just keep encouraging him. Make sure you can prove that you're trying to get him to go over there and get him to comply with the orders, and then you should be fine. But follow modification and ask that he be able to talk to the court.
I hate when this freaking happens. I hate it when this happens because I'm always like, this. It's scary, right? And so number one, my 13-year-old boy, if I tell him to get his butt in the car, he's going to get his butt in the car. And so that's kind of a concern that you have a kiddo that's just flat out refusing to do something. A lot of times that doesn't sit well with a judge. And I actually had a case where I represented mom, and we had a 12-year-old little girl who did not want to go with dad. And we had videos where this little girl was basically, just throwing tantrums and fits and saying, I'm not going, and holding on to things and yelling and screaming. And, of course, we'd requested a modification so she didn't have to go. Dad had filed an enforcement because the little girl wasn't going. And in that particular case, the judge came down pretty hard on our client for not having the ability to control this kiddo, right? And so thankfully, though, they did not hold her in contempt of court because she was saying, come on, baby, you have to go. Like, you're going to have fun with dad. Everything's going to be great. And so the judge did not hold her in contempt, but she questioned her parenting abilities because she couldn't control a 12-year-old little girl. And so I think that's something that you got to kind of take into consideration. The other thing, like Floyd said, is I always tell them, like, just take out your phone recorder, take out a video, and try to document it in some way, shape, or form, because if there's any inclination that you're not encouraging that kiddo, it's not going to be pretty for you if an enforcement comes down, right? And I've had people who will literally just stand at the door with their arms closed and like, take him. It's not my problem. You need to take him if you want him to go home with you. And in those situations, judges are not going to be pleased with you, and you better pack your toothbrush because you're probably going in. And so I would, like Floyd said, file a modification. I would probably try to do some sort of extraordinary relief affidavit to basically say, my son is refusing to go. I can't get him out of my house on a temporary basis until such time as we can get into court. I want to be able to keep him here. Maybe there's mental health concerns. A lot of times when we see this, the 13-year-old is saying, if I have to go back to mom's, I'm going to run away or I'm going to do something to myself. And so sometimes we'll throw those into the affidavits as well to say, just judge, for right now, let's keep kiddo home with dad until such time as you can talk to the judge or talk to the kid and determine what the heck's going on.
See?
Okay.
Don't cheat.
Just go to the next page. Don't cherry pick the question.
Okay.
If it's a criminal question, you gotta go to the next page.
Oh, I followed the instructions.
No, go to the next page. Cherry pick.
Oh, now I can cherry pick.
Yes, now I
Okay.
cherry pick.
Ah, this is good.
Okay. I'm ready.
Can I reverse my parenting role from secondary to primary?
I presume what they're talking about is managing.
Well, give me a second. No, it's
oh,
fine.
okay. Sorry.
No.
I thought that was the question.
So my son, it is the question,
Okay.
but they expound upon the question.
Okay.
My son is in virtual school and is not performing like he should. I have asked his mother to place him in traditional school since he's not getting the support he needs from home. She refused my request and now is on the verge of being placed in special education. What can I do to help?
You should have answered this question.
I know. That's why I wanted you to answer it.
You had a case that was directly on point
I
in
did.
this whole thing. So yes, you can essentially request that you be. You can actually hit it one of two ways. So you can say that you want to have the exclusive right to designate the primary residence of the child. Along with that, you typically have the right to determine the school, the public school, or the school that the child's going to attend. Or you can just request a modification of the right to determine the school. Or you could actually just request that the mother be ordered to enroll the child in public school. When you're kind of going through all of that, one of the biggest things that the court's going to want to know is this kiddo actually tracking? Because some kids have been very successful in homeschool and they're actually ahead of schedule, right? Other times they're not performing at the requisite level, and so a court may determine it's actually in their best interest to go to a traditional school.
Yeah, so this kid not doing well.
Yeah, this kid's not doing well, and so I would recommend that you do one of those three things then. So, but here's the thing. So, smart ass. Sometimes parents come in and they say, oh, he's not doing well. And maybe the child is not performing well to that parent's standards, right? Because some parents have really high standards.
This kid's on the verge of being placed in special education.
Okay, well, if that's accurate, then perhaps, yes, you need to go ahead and file that modification and request that you have one of those three rights.
Yeah, listening is a very important part of our job. And so I agree. But I mean, special education differs from because what he's saying is the child's not getting the attention that he needs at home, not getting the help, right? So not doing homework or maybe not doing well on homework, right? To me, that's not a special education thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're being considered for special education, it's because of some type of disability or learning disability, something like that. And so I think maybe one may not have anything to do with the other, unless maybe the kid needs special education and a traditional school. I don't know. But yeah, it's difficult. Good luck.
So, question. What happens when I steal a $5 or less item from Walmart? Will I be arrested? I stole a Hot Wheel, and now people keep calling me.
First of all, you should never steal, right? Just pay the $5 for the Hot Wheel. But, I mean, at $5, it's going to be a ticket, Class C misdemeanor. You're going to pay a fine, take an anti-theft class. And I assume by people, you mean detectives are calling you, or if that's the case, lawyer up and don't talk. But yeah, so you won't go to jail, but you're gonna have to pay the fine and probably give the car back.
Well, as always, thank you guys for watching the consultation. We hope this provided some information. Like we always say, this is not to be construed as legal advice. If you find yourself in this position, we highly recommend that you find an attorney in your area that practices in your jurisdiction, that knows your judge. Consult with them, follow their advice. As always, please follow us on social media platforms. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If there's a platform, then Chandler makes sure that we are on it. So make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, do all those fancy things.